Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We should see this coming up soon, I would think. Well, at least approaching some light. We have two 9 proof rye whiskeys, both from the Sazerac Company. This one, with long neck, is Sazerac Rye. And it is distilled, aged, and bottled for Sazerac Incorporated, New Orleans, Louisiana, by Buffalo Trace Distillery, Frankfort, Kentucky. They also produce this in New Orleans because at the Sazerac House in New Orleans, downtown New Orleans, they have a distillery and they produce Sazerac Rye. But it's all sent to Kentucky and aged there in their aging rick houses. Okay, so Sazerac is not aged, barrel aged, or bottled in New Orleans, only at this time. Now, they said that could change at the distillery, the little distillery in New Orleans. They said it could change because their headquarters is at the top of that building, the top floor. Okay, so moisturize the cork. Straight rye whiskey. Okay. It looks old, but it really has only been on the market about 22 years. It replaced two rye whiskeys. Sazerac used to make something called Old Superior Rye, and there was another one, but I guess they put them together into this. Hey, Ron, good to see you. Cheers. Cheers to you, Tanner. East Coast LQ Reviews. Let's see. Let me look back at my notes. What was the name of those two ryes that they got rid of? Maybe. I say maybe because you might go to a liquor store and tell me, hey, I just found this Old Superior Rye. Because everything people make, they don't list. Let's see. Replaces J.A. Doherty's and Sons Pure Rye and Old Superior Pure Rye. Okay. Yes. Jeep and Foodie. Good morning, Ron. Check it in. Good morning to you. Jeep and Foodie. It says the one and only New Orleans original Sazerac Rye whiskey symbolizes the tradition and history of New Orleans. Rye whiskey dates back to the 1800s, around the time when saloons veiled as coffee houses began lining the streets of New Orleans. It was at the Sazerac Coffee House on Royal Street where local patrons were served toddies made with rye whiskey and Peychaud's bitters. The libation became known as the Sazerac, and America's first branded cocktail was born. This is the whiskey that started it all. Now, some people are saying online on YouTube videos that they got to pay $50 for this. But they have sales all the time around here for $17.99. Yes, $17.99. And Mathern's had it for $19.99, and it was a barrel pick. It was specially made for, picked for Mathern's grocery chain. They had a little tag on it, barrel pick. I didn't get it because I can't get into all that barrel pick stuff. Tasting notes: aromas of clove, vanilla, anise, and pepper. Subtle notes of candied spices and citrus. The big finish is smooth with hints of licorice. Now, Sonia gave me the first unopened bottle when she gave up drinking about 4 years ago. I said, I'll take it, and I loved it. And I had to go buy another one for taste challenges. Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible gives it a 94.5. There's also Thomas H. Handy Sazerac. Let's look at the Thomas H. Handy Sazerac. I'm looking on the Buffalo Trace website, buffalotracedistillery.com. Thomas H. Handy Sazerac, straight rye. You're not going to see that one for $17.99. No way. I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen Thomas Handy Sazerac. There's the Sazerac Rye 18-year-old. I've never seen that anywhere in a store. It's got a green cap. So I can only show you, and it's got a smooth bottle. It doesn't have this textured, old-timey thing. So I don't know what to tell you about where to find it. Now, Hunter Rye, that's not listed by Sazerac either, but I got it in my hand. Hunter Rye. We know that Canadian Hunter goes back to 1984, so there's no way this thing can be older than 38 years old. But I mean, this is a modern bottle. It's got a date on it from, like, said 2021. But and it's that typical ancient age benchmark bottle. You see this bottle for so many: Jethro T. Boots bourbon, benchmark, ancient age, and some others. They use the same old bottle, and it makes sense. You say, but this one's from Canada, right? But they produce it in Canada, they age it in Canada, but it's sent to Buffalo Trace and bottled there. So they just throw one of their bottles on it. Hunter Rye 90 proof has been crafted to deliver the perfect balance of rye spice and smooth finish. It goes best with the great outdoors. It's cold outside. I'm not going outdoors. The light of the stars. Well, that might work right now. Or just sitting around a warm fire. I'm not sitting around a fire. I was using flame to fry egg and corned beef hash. Swapping stories with friends. Oh, yeah. Let's swap some stories, y'all. I have a story. I was wondering this morning. I said to myself, was Monica Lewinsky an Israeli spy? You know, those kind of things you ask to yourself. Imported Hunter Rye Canadian whiskey, a blend. Imported and bottled by Sazerac Company, Frankfort, Kentucky. 90 proof. And there's the Hunter. There's the Hunter. The Israeli Times last year ran an article where they were saying, that's in Jerusalem, they were saying, or Tel Aviv, they were saying that the Netanyahu government had all kind of recordings of all kind of dirty mouth, sexual conversation between Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky that they were recording at her house on the phone. Even the Star report, Kenneth Starr report, they said had one mention in it about Clinton had a feeling that his phone was tapped. So that's an old trick, to send in these young girls to get information from these lustful world leaders. They did it with John Fitzgerald Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, the president. He was running around. They knew, you see, they'll check you out. They knew he liked to chase girls. So East Germany sent in a woman named Ellen Ramich, and she. So these guys are so irresponsible when they do that. They're Monica Lewinsky did not say, "Oh, he's so good looking. I just got to run after this middle-aged man." No, come on, man, wake up. You're being set up, and they should be impeached. Of course, they didn't impeach Clinton for that, but they should be impeached for that because they're endangering the national security. Okay. And what was one of the last things Trump did when he left? Pardon Jonathan Pollard, one of the worst, most notorious spies against the United States. I got to read more on that. That doesn't make any sense. Although it does make me think that his administration was latched on to the wrong characters all along. But anyway, nice cork. Yeah, that's real cork, real chunk of cork. That's why King Edward VIII got into so much trouble running around with these women because, like Wallace Simpson, there was a strong suspicion that she was a German National Socialist government asset, that she was, on the take or working for the National Socialist Germany. And he was so irresponsible, leaving state papers lying around the apartment or palace, and they said, "How she's not going through these papers, fool, and taking photos?" But he was like These guys are crazy, man. His own father, King George George V, had told the government before he died, he said, whatever you do, that guy cannot be the king. Prince Albert became Edward VIII. He said, I don't care what you got to do. He's crazy. He's my own son. He cannot be the king and destroy the country. That was what the king was saying. He said, but leave it up to him, and in 1 year he'll ruin that whole thing. But it didn't even take him a year. But anyway, enough history. That's just, it said on the bottle, sitting around the fire telling stories. I'm sitting around the computer telling stories, you see. Cheers, says J Rock. Cheers to you. Good morning, Ron. Good morning to you in Russia, Maxwell. All right, good. Poured a nice small amount. Didn't accidentally pour too much. The Hunter Rye is slightly lighter, and the Sazerac is darker. Now, price: Hunter Rye $11.99, Sazerac Rye $17.99. I paid $17.99. So $11.99. I bought Hunter Rye at Liquor Warehouse on Texas Highway 180 westbound in Arlington, Texas. Easy to find. Just get on 180, which runs from the interstate 35, like literally in downtown Dallas. There's an exit 180, and then it just goes west to till it links Interstate 20, till it hooks up with Interstate 20, the new Western Highway in Texas. Highway 80 was the old Western Highway, but it got replaced by Interstate 20, but they still have relics of 80 there that you can drive on, like, for instance, where the Liquor Warehouse is. And if you like catching a lot of red lights, that's the place to go, because they got a lot of them. And there's a loud train right next to the highway, because all those old Western highways followed the railroad tracks. It's a true story. Because they'd already been blasted through the mountains, and they'd already cut the pathway, so they just built the highway next to it. 80 runs along that railroad track all the way to San Diego, or did. Now you can take old 80, you run right by the railroad track. 90, right by the track, all the way into Texas, right by the track. All right, but we were at that hotel last year, going to the Rangers game, and my friend David was like, let's go out. I said, I ain't going out anywhere. I'm going out to this bed. I'm tired. I got to travel tomorrow all day driving. But he was too nervous. He went out to the restaurant next to the hotel, and he was saying they got a big band playing and everything, and he said it was full of people. We went there for lunch. It was full of people for lunch. Had great food. The hotel was kind of messed up, and I could see the owner was embarrassed about some of the things, and I never got a bill, never got charged. I guess he said he might call he might contact Choice International and tell them something bad. I did contact them and tell them something bad regardless, but never got a charge. But the train was loud, but it didn't keep me awake. David kept me awake with all this noise. I'd rather sleep in a hotel alone. I don't like going on trips with people. Not too much, because they're too difficult. Everything's a problem. Where with me, it's just like we're on a trip, relax. It's not that serious. Now, my friend Paul, who lives in Texas, he was the best person to go on road trips with, because he was like real calm, calm. No, he snores too much. My father's the best. He doesn't make a lot of racket, and he's real. He's too old to go on trips now, but he's real pleased to do different things without having to do any planning. Leave it all up to me, the master trip planner. Okay, that's rye, peppery spice, grain, rye grain. Yeah, nice. Nice, 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 nice. More rye, more pronounced rye, more savory rye. It smells like oak barrels that have been saturated with rye. Oh, it must be the. I don't know why I got my eyes closed because they're almost the same color. It's not like I'm gonna glance and I'm gonna know which is which. It's like it's got to be the Sazerac straight rye, Kentucky rye. I'd like to go back to Texas, yeah, and drive all the way out to the Pecos River by the mountains and the Mexican border. They got some nice trails out there. Yeah, I want to go to the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas and Oklahoma. All right, relative to the other one, this one has no aroma. Now, it did at first. You notice when I first smelled it, I was picking up a lot. And it does have it, but once you, in a comparative sense, it doesn't have anything. See, that's what I say about these liquors, these whiskeys, rum, gin, brandy, doesn't matter. On their own merit, like if you drink it or sip it or taste it in isolation, it'll have all these characters. Oh, and you taste it, you say, it's really good. I like this, the nuttiness, the woodiness, the barrel, slight barrel age, whatever. But then if you put it in a contest, it falls apart. I like my corned beef hash nice and crispy, no soft hash here. Oh, well, you wouldn't have liked mine then. I had it fried in the olive oil. I had the fried egg and some diced onions. And then I mixed them all together and put a slice of Swiss cheese in the middle. So they all, and then of course I had hot sauce and black pepper and all coagulated together in a sense. It was so soft I ate it with a spoon. But I don't mind crispy, I don't mind the crispy corned beef, but I don't cook it. I just don't cook it that long like that. Taste, cheers. Corned beef hash, potatoes diced with the beef. And I got the Great Value brand, which is, if I check the code, is probably made by Armor Star in Fort Madison, Iowa. They do most of the meat packing, but some people put off by anything say Great Value. Look, they don't make their own products. It's all sourced. Okay, it's like Trader Joe's. There's no Trader Joe's beer brewery. Their beer comes from suppliers. There's no Walmart. There's no Walmart slaughterhouse. It comes from suppliers. Their coffee tastes suspiciously identical to Folgers medium roast. I wonder why that is. Isn't that strange? That's Canadian Hunter. I'll tell you that. I'd put money on it right now. Somebody asked me to bet them yesterday about Alabama and Georgia. You want to bet? He says, you want to bet? I said, no, I don't make bets unless I know I'm going to win. And I don't know if I'll win because I don't know who's going to win. They kept asking me, who do you think's going to win? I said, I don't really know. It's like a toss-up. It's a pick 'em. It's like I don't see who's got an advantage. And when I was sitting there or laying there in the bed and it was 9-6 in the third quarter, I didn't see anybody with an advantage. Didn't seem to have. Then it broke open, you see. But no, I don't make bets unless I know I'm going to win, which means I'm just taking your money. So I tell people, I say, you want to just get rid of money? Because I'm not going to lose. And I tell them, I don't make bets unless I know I'm going to win. That's just my policy. I don't like to take chances. So I say, it's up to you if you want to get rid of money. It doesn't matter. I did make a bet one time about Sean Payton and I lost, and I had to buy the guy lunch. I didn't care. I lost, so I don't welch. I don't welch. But then he didn't want me to buy it. He's like, no, don't worry about it. I said, no, I don't back out of bets. No, but I wasn't going to beg him, but all right. I was going to buy it. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Now, this is savory, rich, such a strong rye whiskey. And I don't mean strong in a negative way. No, I mean strong in a way that it's got a lot of character, not strong or off-putting. It's just great. Is Sazerac Rye one of the great rye whiskeys? I don't really know because I haven't tried so many. There's so many ryes I haven't tried. Rittenhouse Rye and all these others, Jim Beam Rye. I'm only working on from a point of limited experience. But could Sazerac Rye be the best rye I have? It could be. I don't remember how the taste challenge went. I don't think it would beat the Woodford Reserve Rye. I know they went up against each other once, but you see the problem with that is Sazerac I can get for $17.99. You know I cannot get Woodford Reserve for anywhere close to $17.99. It's much more expensive. So in my memory, it wasn't that much better. But Sazerac Rye for $17.99. Now these people on the internet tell me they got to pay $50. I wouldn't pay $50 for it. I wouldn't pay $40 for it. I wouldn't pay $30 for it. But $17.99, yeah. Now the 18-year age, I'm sure that's a fortune. The Thomas Handy Sazerac Straight Rye, I'd hate to see that price, but why worry about it? Because you don't ever see them anyway. You don't see them in the store. Of course, I wasn't looking for them now to admit that. I haven't been actively looking for those. So I could have been in innumerable liquor stores that had it on the shelf, and I just passed it by. So I got to keep that in mind. They got Eagle Rare. That's hard to find these days anyway. $30 here. But there's the Eagle Double Eagle. What is it, age 17 years? Yeah, you won't get that for $30, maybe a few hundred. It's very expensive. It's got a etched crystal eagle inside the bottle. Yeah, it's exorbitantly expensive. This one, you can get that almond extract. John Neely coined that term, thing going underneath. It's a weird thing. Now, is it off-putting or nasty flavor? It isn't off-putting or nasty. It's just strange. It's like, why does it taste like this? This is so peculiar. It doesn't taste. These Sazerac Canadian whiskeys, believe me, taste unlike any other Canadian whiskey I've ever had. Now, Canadian Gold, bottled by Scobeyville, New Jersey. What's the name of the company? Laird and Company. That one's similar to it, and it does have that little weird candy taste. And I guess McAdams sort of has that weird candy taste, but they're not as pronounced as Sazerac. Sazerac has a very strange caramel. Maybe it's caramel candy under flavor that John is thinking of, and he's misinterpreting it to almond extract. But now, see, I'm thinking it too. Do they make any kind of special edition Canadian Hunter beers? They might, because there's a real cheap one you can find all around, and it's called the Northern Lights. Used to be called the Northern Light, but the Northern Lights. Man, you could get that at Total Wine for like $9.99. I don't think they have any more. They had Canadian Lake. But there's a Northern Lights small batch. It's got like this red label. But don't ask me. I've never seen it. But I've seen it. Used to be on the Sazerac website. The Northern Lights small batch. Was it better than the regular Northern Lights? You would assume it's a higher price. It's more specialty. So the next Canadian blended whiskey, the regular Canadian blended I'm coming up with is one called 40 Creek. Any of y'all ever had 40 Creek? You say, no, I only had 39 Creek. Oh, okay. And some of y'all might have had 41 Creek, but this is 40 Creek. And it's kind of creaky. No, I got it for so cheap. When I tell you all the price, when I get to it, you're gonna say you that's wrong. That's wrong to get it so cheap. I like my, oh yeah, you talking about corned beef. I read that right. All right, so the winner here again is, when I say again, I mean Hunter Rye loses again. Now what is this, the fourth time? Sazerac Rye, the clear and present winner. So sorry, Hunter, but Hunter S. Thompson Rye loses to Sazerac. The winner. Will Hunter S. Thompson Rye win any of these contests? I don't think so. I think it's going to lose them all. I'm going to lose them all. And that's just too bad, isn't it? Is it the cheapest rye whiskey you can buy? It probably is. Off the top of your head, do you know of any other rye whiskeys that are $11.99? I don't. I don't know of any. I mean, yeah, I got the Jack Daniel's rye for $11.98, but that was an aberration price. You know, that was like much cheaper than it should have been. But I didn't ask questions. I got into Savannah Discount, gave my money, and got out of there. George Dickel Rye. Is let's see, what was it? 7 and 14. $14.98. No, it wasn't. It was $13.98. Is that normal? No. No. Not George Dickel Rye. Woodford Reserve. Woodford Reserve Rye. Got a $13.98. Not a normal price. Heck, I got the George Dickel Rye for $12.50 at Walmart. Thank you, Walmart. Just right there on the end cap with a yellow tag, closeout, $12.50. I said, buying that. And they had the Dickel 12-year, buying that. Then that was before the scamdemic started. So everything's screwed up now with all this National Socialism because of the scamdemic. So as we descend into a Venezuelan type dystopian existence, it's just much harder to procure products. All right, anyway, that's it. What's coming up for Wednesday tomorrow? Well, January 12th, 2021. So we just did a Sazerac product versus a Sazerac product. What is coming up next? I'm getting a little perplexed. Let's see. I can't remember. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Old Overholt. The black cap, Old Overholt, the pre-2018 edition. Okay. Pre-2020 edition, excuse me. Yeah, okay. 80 proof. Well, you know, that could be, it won't be, but it could be a contest. Because you can get that $15.98. Then I got the Old Overholt red cap, non-chill filtered, 86 proof. No, Hunter Rye won't beat that. And then once I'm finished with that, then I've got Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye, which is 90 proof, and it's going to annihilate Hunter Rye. So it's going to be two Canadian rye whiskeys. I figured I'd save Canada for last versus Canada. Crown Royal is going to bust it up so bad it's going to be embarrassing. But that's really not my problem. You can get Northern Hunter Rye for $30. I saw the bourbon mash at International Market, $27. They still got bourbon and said on the box, bourbon mash, Crown Royal bourbon mash. You know what it tastes like? Bourbon. They made a bourbon in Canada, but they got in trouble for using the word bourbon. But that's what it tastes like, because that's what it is. They even admitted they use charred oak barrels. Oh, well. Diageo, they're big enough to get it. you know, they can pay a few fines. That didn't really cost them much. All right, so thank y'all for watching this video production. Get ready for Old Overhauled, the oldest American rye brand whiskey. Yeah.